I love doing mock trades. I love seeing other people's mock trades, trade ideas, and reacting to them and seeing how the trade would fare for all parties involved. And of course, as we get closer and closer to the draft, which is one of the most active times in the league when it comes to trade transactions outside the trade deadline, of course, naturally, you're going to see more and more trade proposals, trade ideas, more playing around with the trade machine and seeing how one can make their respective team better. And I feel like I've seen so many trades being proposed when it comes to the Bulls across multiple media outlets, including fan train proposals online through Reddit and other social media platforms. And so I wanted to do a video reacting to some of the various trades I've seen circulating. And while I'm at it, I want to see some of your guys' trade ideas in the comments as well. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. I want to start with this one, which we've seen various iterations of this trade before, but this one is from Bleacher Report specifically, where the Bulls would receive Ja Morant and the Grizzlies' #3 pick, while the Grizzlies would get Patrick Williams, Jalen Smith, Rob Dillingham, and the Bulls' 4th pick. Now, I've touched on this one briefly in a video a while back, but this is a hard pass for me. I want no part of Ja Morant on my basketball team. I get that he's still a big name. I get that when he's healthy, he's one of the top offensive players in the league. And I get that he's still in his prime. It's not like this is a star heading into their 30s. No, he's 26 years old. But the baggage, the drama, the off-court antics, the fact that this past season he kind of quit on his team. He also just didn't have that great of a year. Shot the ball horribly. His athleticism has somewhat declined, so he's not able to get to the basket as easily as he used to. And not only that, you're taking on his max contract, which, with his level of production, is no longer defensible. 2 years left on his deal where he's going to be making $42 million and $44 million respectively. Like, if he was on an expiring deal, okay, I could maybe get behind that if it means trading up a spot to get to #3, especially if it means we're also getting out of Patrick Williams' contract. But it's 2 years, 2 years of a contract that is going to take up a good chunk of your payroll. As I said before, how valuable is it really to move up from 4 to 3? Is the gap in talent from what you could get at #3 instead of 4 that much? And this is basically between Boozer and Caleb Wilson. And it's possible Boozer could even fall to #4 if for some reason you really have your heart set on him. I just don't think it's worth it if you're the Bulls to make this type of deal when getting off Pat's contract isn't critical at this point in time. It's not like it's imperative that they have to get out of Pat's contract. And I mean, aside from all of that, I still like Jalen Smith as a role player. It's not like he's a scrub. And while I don't think Rob Dillingham is going to turn into much of anything, I would still rather see what you could potentially get with him, what might happen there. I'm sure the Grizzlies would love to do this trade because they're trying to find a new home for Ja Morant as they embark on their rebuild, and to be able to get off of Ja's deal while still walking away with the #4 pick is a big time win for them, but this is a hard pass for me if you're the Bulls. This next one is from Yahoo Sports. This one is a play in which the Bulls would be trading up to get the #1 pick, while the Wizards would get Modest Bucelis, the #4 pick, and the #15 pick. Come on now. What's crazy is that in the breakdown of this trade on the site, they actually talked about how this likely isn't enough to get the #1 pick, and the Wizards would be reluctant to take this deal. No, absolutely not. This is way too much to give up to just move up from 4 to #1. Like, it would be different if the Bulls didn't get lucky and move into the top 4 and they just landed the #9 pick. Then okay, that's a different story because you're trading up to get into that top tier level of talent and sacrificing your 9 and 15th pick. And Modest, yes, it's an aggressive move, but it's worth it. It's worth that type of move. But now, when you already have the #4 pick in a top 4 heavy draft, I've said it before, the talent gap between 1 and 4 is not that much to the point where you should be sacrificing that much in future assets to get there. And this is coming from someone that is super high on AJ Dybantsa. I think he's a surefire star in this league, but giving up 3 future assets in your already 2 first-round picks, one that projects to be a star, and then also you're giving up a very solid starter in this league with the 15th pick, and then of course Modest Bucelis, just to get Dybantsa. To me, it's just not worth it. How about this one? And man, now I'm blanking on which outlet this is coming from. Must not have been that great because they actually got the Kings pick wrong. The Kings have the 7th pick, not the 6th pick, but in any event, the trade would be that the Bulls are getting the Kings' 7th pick, and yes, Zach LaVine in his expiring contract, the contract the Bulls gave him, while the Kings would be getting the 38th pick, Modest, Okoro, and Patrick Williams. I mean, the way I look at this one is that it boils down to whether you think whoever you can get at #7 is going to be a better player than Modest Bucelis. That is really what this trade is. Sure, you're giving up the 38th pick in this draft, and you can probably get a solid player with that pick, but you're taking on Zach LaVine's expiring contract. Maybe, Zach coming back, even if it's only for one season, is good for the vibes, but you get off of his deal next season. You still have ample cap flexibility. Getting out of Pat's contract also is an underrated aspect of this trade too, by the way, but this trade, whether it makes sense for the Bulls, really comes down to Modest in the 7th pick. There are a lot of great players in this draft, a lot of great guards projected to go 5 through 9. Are any of them going to be better than Modest long term? Tough to say. I'm still high on Modest, but I'm also not naive to think that he still has a lot to work on when it comes to his game. I don't think he's going to be a future superstar or face of this team, but there is still a lot of upside there. What's intriguing about this trade is that the Bulls would still be able to keep their first round picks. They're not trading down or up. They're going to be getting another lottery pick. They would have the 4th, 7th, and 15th pick in the draft if they did a trade like this. And that is a great way to kickstart a rebuild, establish a core that's all going to be on the same timeline. So yeah, my gut leans yes for the Bulls on a trade like this. I would feel really bad for Modest though, sending him to Sacramento. I don't want that to happen for him. I don't think the Kings would do this deal though. Yes, they're eager to start their rebuild. Yes, Modest is a solid piece they can work with to start on their new timeline. Yeah, they want to get off of Zach's contract, but it's an expiring deal. Would they really give up a lottery pick to make that happen? I guess it is the Kings though. I don't know why I'm questioning whether they would do anything like this. All right, how about this behemoth of a trade? I saw this one on Reddit and it got me thinking about it. So this is a trade for the Thunder to move up into the top 4, which it's reported they are exploring. Let's start with what the Bulls would get here. They would get Jonathan Kuminga and his expiring contract, and actually it's a team option, so the Bulls could simply decline that option and just let him walk in free agency or sign him to a more team-friendly deal. But Kuminga, Buddy Hield, Nikola Topic, Thomas Sorber, the Thunder's 12th and 17th pick, and the Hawks' 8th pick, and then 2 future second-round picks, while the Thunder would get Okoro, the Bulls' 4th pick, and the Hawks would get Jalen Williams and Jalen Smith. Man, this would be hard to pass up. I'm not about trading out of the 4th pick because the talent drop-off between 4 to 5 is so drastic, and this is the Bulls' first opportunity in a while to get a big-name talent in the draft. But this would mean the Bulls would have the 8th, 12th, 15th, and 17th pick in this draft if they completed this transaction. That's a lot of bites at the apple to land a future star level player. It also opens up opportunities to package those picks and turn it into something else. Thomas Sorber, by the way, isn't a scrub either. Could be a nice big man for the Bulls that they could use for the future. I don't know that Topic is ever going to be something in this league with all of his injuries, but he was projected to be one of the top prospects in the 2024 class before he had all those injuries. Maybe the Bulls find something in Kuminga as well, but I don't know. This one is tough because are you going to get a better talent with any of these guys that you would otherwise get with Caleb Wilson? And if the answer is no, then it's probably still not worth it. Like, I don't know what else to say, but the number 4 pick is extremely valuable. It's the most valuable asset the Bulls have had in a decade, and that's not an exaggeration. If a team wants it, they're going to have to pay up, and I'm not sure these assets get it done. Maybe if you throw another future first in there or 2, yeah, then we can talk. This one I don't have a screenshot for, as it was mentioned by another NBA YouTuber in SROS, who's a Knicks fan, but in one of his videos from a few weeks back, I believe he suggested that a trade should be made by the Bulls where they would take on Jakob Poeltl's contract and 2 first-round picks, 2026 and 2028. So the pick in 26 would be the 19th pick where the Raptors are slated to draft, and then of course their pick in 2028. And then the Raptors would get the expirings of Jalen Smith and Isaac Okoro to help boost their defense a bit, and then of course obviously the salary cap relief. But of course the main benefit here for the Raptors is getting out of Poeltl's contract. I would do this trade if I'm the Bulls. I said before, I'm not taking on Poeltl's contract if it only comes with 1 first-round pick. But 2, especially with the lottery form and knowing that picks could potentially go higher than what they otherwise did under previous systems, this also would enable the Bulls to have a much higher likelihood of trading into the top 10, since they would now have the 15th and 19th pick that they could consolidate to move up to, say, 8 or 7. Poeltl's contract is pretty brutal. Not gonna lie, let's be clear on that. He still has 4 years left on his deal. In 27-28, his new contract goes into effect where he's gonna be making $27.3 million. He's 30 years old now, has clearly started to decline, and he's gonna be on that contract until he's 34. But if you can get 2 first-round picks just for taking on that deal, and maybe by the end of it, you can just waive and stretch the contract to give you a little more flexibility. It's not like this is a max contract, so it's not going to hamstring you completely. And at a minimum, Jakob Poeltl is a solid rim protector. So yeah, I would do this trade. I think the reward is higher than the risk here for the Bulls. I just don't know that the Raptors would give up 2 picks to dump Poeltl. They're likely just going to wait until he has fewer years left on his deal, and then they don't have to give up as many future assets to dump that contract. So anyway, I'm sure as the days go on towards the draft, we're going to see more and more crazy trade scenarios. Always fun to speculate on which of these trade proposals would work and which ones are delusional, but none of it matters until we actually start seeing the real trades, the real deals come through. And let's hope Bryson Graham has some magic up his sleeve on draft night. Let me know what you guys think though. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.